You started it?
All right. Hey everyone, this is Chrissy with Real World Witness. I'm here with Taylor. Hi Taylor.
Hi.
Hi, sorry it's taken us so long to get another episode up. We've had scheduling issues and then I finally figured out how to do the StreamYard, so I'm very happy. I think it'll look much better, hopefully. So how have you been?
Good. How about you?
Oh, hanging in there. Supposed to be 80 degrees this weekend on the
Oh, that's
Washington coast.
yeah, that's nothing. It's
I
like
know.
90, 95 here.
Oh my god, I don't know how you do it, seriously.
And I'm sitting outside. I don't know why.
Forget it. Forget it. I know, I
I
feel
know.
bad. All my friends that are on the East Coast and everywhere else, they're all like
That's
sweating
humidity. I
bullets.
can't deal.
I
I can't
know,
deal with humidity.
I know. Me too. So anyway, so today we're going to talk about the matrix we live in. Now, Taylor and I, we talk extensively about everything, usually, 3-hour phone calls, So, but we thought this was really important for people to understand sort of the world that we're living in right now and how it is controlled by every single thing that we do. So, first we wanted to, so why don't you explain, what do you think the matrix is? Why don't you explain it?
Well, it's so extensive. Like I keep, like you try and explain the matrix, but basically, like when we were a good definition for it is basically it's what was the word that we used earlier?
It's a system, basically.
System that, like, what we think our matrix is basically is a system that they created, for us to be confined in so that we don't really understand the bigger picture of what's really going on
Right.
is
And
kind of
then
the gist of it.
Right. And then they keep us distracted with all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, come on, the Johnny Depp trial. Come on, people. Just say it. I mean, just stupid stuff, and so they keep us sort of they keep us in a bubble. I mean, did anybody ever watch Under the Dome? I swear it was on TV a few years ago. Look it up because it's very interesting. All of a sudden, this dome shows, and people are just trapped. That's how we feel. You're basically trapped, and we're trapped because of our
Well,
technology and everything
and
else. I mean,
they entrap you too, and I think, like, in ways in which you don't see, or
yeah.
you know you can't pinpoint that you're trapped. Like, so for instance, like, for me, like, the working system, like the 9 to 5 jobs and stuff like
Hmm.
that, that's a trap. Like, you're having to trade so much time for money, and it's really not that, for most people, it's really not that much money, you know, to live on, like the 1% do. And
Right.
instead, like, for instance, that's a trap, a trapping system that they created, because what the
Hmm.
1% does is they use their money and to create more money instead of having to trade their time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So they're trying to get, people just working 9 to 5, then you come home, then you watch TV, and then you're trapped by TV, you know what I
Right.
mean? And then they put all those little messages in the TVs, and then you wake up and you go and you do it all over again so that you can, produce for them instead of, like, really living and enjoying your life, I feel.
Or
You know?
being able to reach whatever goals you have. I mean, like, we
Mhm.
talk about we want to own some property and, it's like, how do you get to that point? What they've basically done is made us into debt slaves. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be real. The entire human race right now is under a debt slave system. That's what we are.
Yeah.
And what is that? I mean, okay, well, they own a piece of every single thing on this planet. And what do I mean by that? You've got the Federal Reserve, right, which is just private bankers. It is not a government entity, okay? And we pay taxes. We're taxed out the wazoo. I mean, especially here in Washington State, it's crazy. We get taxed for everything. So you're getting taxed on everything, okay? And then we have the income tax on top of it. And then, but that money does not go to America, to our local, what we believe is going to go to. No, it's ferreted out to other countries. I mean, America, we're sort of like the thing, the country that everybody just sucks off of.
Yeah, I just think that I mean, there's just such bigger picture things that are going on, and then they
Mhm.
just want us to continue to be distracted and think that, we have to rely on them for everything. When
Mhm.
in reality, like for instance, like in the educational system, like one of the things is they don't teach you how to be financially literate yourself. Like they're teaching
Right.
you like a lot of stuff. Like to me, it's like, am I ever going to use algebra ever again in my life? I don't think so. Unless I was going into that, like, why are you wasting that time? Like we should be taking financial classes, learning how to do our own taxes, learning how
Mhm.
we can invest our money so that, we can gain more freedom in life. Like, but, we're not taught that. You have to, teach yourself nowadays
Well,
and
yeah,
look
and I mean,
through.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, the education system is just an indoctrination of to infuse their ideologies
Hmm.
of what they want society to be, socialism and all this other stuff. And and it's really it's sad because unfortunately kids are going to college. Like I know my friend, my I have a really good friend, and her daughter just finished college, and and she's just like, you know, she's okay with the way things are, and we're like, I mean, and they're very conservative family, and now of course her daughter is not conservative, and it's really sad of what's going on. I just think, I mean, like they control technology, they control medicine, of course. I mean, look at the medical
Oh,
tyranny we've
no,
been
that's
under for
really
the
so
last.
sad to me because when you think about like even the medical industry as a whole, like people don't understand because they're trusting their doctors,
Hmm.
but it's a whole system again, yet again, of ways to control. So like even like, you know, for people that have mental issues, like, and
Yeah.
then you're just instantly forced to be on like a bunch of drugs,
Yeah.
basically, in order to change that, and then it really, and then it causes all these other things, and
Right.
it's especially where when people are in pain, and then they're just giving out pain medications,
Right.
and like we know a lot about that, Christine,
Yeah.
and so it can really affect people's lives, and instead like we have it really available to us like to do a lot of things natural.
Right. Well,
And
yeah, but the way I look at it, God put everything that we need on the earth. Like, there's no reason to depend on, like, you know, big P to do everything. And especially now with the jabs and all of that, all the crazy around that. I mean, there's no reason to put we have perfect immune systems, and so they don't want us to know that. They don't even, I mean, think of the whole campaign since 2020, since this whole thing came down. Just think of all that. Oh, excuse me. I
I thought you were gonna sneeze. Oh, and then there's a bee around me. Oh
Oh
my
no, there's a bee. Oh my god, I
god,
would die.
no, I'm just
I hate bees. I'm not a good bee person. But I mean, like I said, I mean, they just, and I mean, obviously, we've learned in the last well, we've learned since 2017. I mean, how the judicial system is all corrupt. The three-letter agencies are corrupt. I mean, there is a way that have free energy, which hopefully coming
yeah,
up, things are going to be changing. But for the most part, we get up, we go to work, or go to school, and come home, and everything that we buy just goes to the 1% that are running the
yeah.
world.
And it's just so easy to see clear as day, I think, when you start to notice these things, and that's why I feel like I just
Mhm.
implore people to like really, why do I have to like trade so much time of my life, like 9 to 5, like I've had an office job before, for instance, like, and I feel like I get most of my production done in the beginning of the day, and then I'm sitting there like on the clock the rest of the day, and so a few things might come up, but it's like it makes no sense to me, as long as you're
Mhm.
getting your production done, why you want me to be tied down to a desk so and not be able to do anything else with my life.
Right.
And that's what they want for you, because the more time you're giving away, then the less time that you have to really grow yourself into what you want to be, and
Mhm.
create on your dreams, your businesses, your own stuff. And I think it's just, I implore people to try and look at life a little bit differently, and be
Yeah.
like, what are these huge, like,
We're
especially like
supposed
huge corporations and stuff like that, look out for them and be like, it's a money game to them. So you have to be conscious for yourself, like what
Mhm.
you're consuming, that including TV, like what kind of content you're consuming, what's going to benefit you instead of benefiting, that 1% and the people that
Right.
come
And and right now we don't know what we don't know what's gonna happen. And I mean, I actually have a pretty positive outlook. I mean, I honestly believe that the swamp's been drained is being drained. But I mean, I have really good friends that are like, it's all just a bunch of BS, blah blah. Blah. But I
I
don't
don't think
believe
it's doom
so.
and gloom. It shouldn't be
It
doom and
isn't,
gloom.
and we're gonna go through
You
a
just
big change.
you just have to be aware, and that's why it's like
Yeah,
even bringing it seems negative, but like it's important to know these things because and then you can, you know, learn from it and then figure out a way to better your own life instead of
yeah,
falling into the system that they want you to be prey to basically. And you have
exactly.
to know these things in order to, you know, be able
Right.
to skirt around it.
And it is about life is supposed to be about this is I mean, really, God put us on this earth to use the talents that He gave us. Okay. How are you using your talents if you're going to a job and you're like Taylor, like you're
If
sitting
you're
there, and
I
you're not
mean,
able
and
to like use it for the good of humanity. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're
yeah.
supposed to use it for.
Well, and I just don't want people to get like because I know people have to work. I'm
Yeah,
not
we
trying
get
to do
it
that, but
totally.
think about it in a way where it's like, okay, I have this amount of money I get from my 9 to 5. How can I put away some to invest, for my future so I
Hmm.
don't always have to be here? And then how do I create time, for my own projects, my own businesses, my own things so that you can, so that
Right.
you can be in a better position so that you're not always tied to like a desk or for instance or something like that, and
Right.
bring more into your life than just going to work for somebody else and then
Right.
going home and just popping down on the couch and watching television shows. We were talking about television shows,
Oh yeah.
how just basically it's so interesting. It's even worse now, like when it
Oh my gosh, I know. I anybody that knows me, I mean, a lot of people know me from, I used to watch, I was huge Sleepy Hollow fan, huge, huge, huge. I can't even like explain that. I mean, I just, anyway, but always throughout my life since I was little. I mean, we had TV shows. I mean, what do you do? Dukes of Hazzard. Hello. I mean, I was a Magnum PI. That's the age that I grew up in. And so, anyway, but back then it was not. This is what I want to make sure to get out there. Back then, um, it wasn't as propagandized. It wasn't full of a progressive ideology. It wasn't full of this woke stuff. And I'm sorry, nothing against anybody, whatever they're doing, they're doing. But I mean, the fact of the matter is that they
it
use these
just feels
shows in order
pushy in
to.
some ways. I'm like why are you pushing
Why are you pushing
certain
it? Like
things?
these little
Yeah.
kids, you don't know what the heck you are until you're, you know what I mean? You really don't at age five
Yeah.
and six. I mean, I'm sorry, you just don't. And, that's a whole other story. But what happened is Obama in 2012, he reversed the Smith-Mundt Act of 1948,
Oh yeah.
which actually it it banned government propaganda in US media. And he reversed that basically. So they started allowing it, number 1, but number 2, they also categorized all news as entertainment news. So it was no longer there was no
Well,
journalistic
I feel like it's
integrity.
plain as day when you can see it when you turn on the news. I don't even turn on the news
No, I
anymore
know, me either.
because
I
I'm just
can't.
like, this is a joke. Like, I feel like it's just staged. Like, it's just
It
so
is.
staged. It's unbelievable. Like, it's just not real to me. Like,
Yeah,
and I'm like, how do people like take this as real news? Like, I just don't get it.
I
I
know.
mean, yeah, I just feel like do your own research because it's all kind of controls and within that like matrix for sure.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
all you have to do your own research. I mean, listen, don't take my word for anything. But if
Yeah.
I would suggest, go and research BlackRock, research Vanguard. Those are investment firms, and actually, the investors behind those are the 1%.
Yeah.
Rothschild,
Oh
Rockefeller,
yeah.
Paystor. I mean, you could go on, and then you have, people that are flooding the internet with all kinds of disinformation in order to keep the truth from coming out. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we're kind of getting off track, but the matrix that they created for us is what we're living right now, and I think that there's a better way to live, and it's coming, and we just have to stay positive and use our just try and like change our mindset, like we've always said since our first show. It's about changing your
Yeah,
mindset a little bit.
it is. And like, I don't know if we should bring it up on this show, but like, just to kind of speaking of like Matrixy, it's interesting to me. Like, there's so much more to our world. I feel like they want to box us in, like
Hmm.
that it's only our universe or whatever, that exists.
Yeah,
But in reality, like, to me, there's no way that like other
we're the
beings
only
in this
one. Yeah.
universe there's like thousands of other uh planets in the world,
Galaxies.
yeah, galaxies,
Yeah.
you know, like how you're telling me that we're the only conscious beings like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's a little bit
Well, I think
egotistical.
it's something like 65% or more believe in extraterrestrial life. And
Yeah. And it's just like, but I'm like, they're trying to like keep that from us because they don't want us to think, I feel like
yeah,
there's bigger things out there, kind of
right.
a mindset, because that kind of changes your mindset to me.
Right. Well, think
If,
about it.
yeah.
What if we were just thinking about, oh, I'm a human being. Or you could just say even I'm an American, I'm an African, I'm a whatever, wherever country you come from. But we are all humans. We are humans. So if you just thought of everything as the human race,
Yeah.
right, on
Yeah.
planet Earth, it would completely blow all of their, controlling mechanisms out of the
Well,
water.
because they try to
Yeah.
divide
And
us in a
yeah,
lot of ways.
exactly. And
Yeah,
I would
instead of
suggest too, man, look up Ismail Perez. I mean, I'm hoping I can maybe get him on our show because I mean, I've watched like 4 or 5 different interviews from this guy, and he talks about basically, what's been going on. There has been a galactic war for a long time, and think about Star Wars, think about Star Trek, think about all these sci-fi shows. I mean, come on, let's talk about Stranger Things for a minute.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's real.
it,
Like,
there is a particle collider, and it's called CERN,
yeah, and
and
it's
that's
in
what they've been
Switzerland.
doing. They've been breaking, into another dimension,
That's basically
creating
what they're
portals.
doing. I'm like, that's a real life Stranger Things, and I feel like they try to like warn you like
Hmm.
discreetly in like shows like that. So we're
Yeah,
saying like, they put weird things in there, and it's real. I feel like
right.
it's real.
Well, think about this. Elle, she was a kid, and she was, in some dumbs, which is, down under some lab.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
military dumbs, and they were doing all these, mind exercises with all these gifted kids. That
and
that
that's
really does
real.
happen. I mean,
Yeah, it totally does. That they Yeah, the CIA had the whole project on it. If you go on their website, can't pull it up. I don't know how to use StreamYard
yeah,
quite well,
I'm
but
not
I have it
sure.
documented.
Hold on, let me see if I can do it really quick. I'm not that great with this either.
Yeah,
Okay,
but if
so
you look up
sure.
on CIA.gov, there's just like a bunch of documentation on like literal mind experiments that they're doing, like where you can manipulate energy and like you can get rid of, pain
Yeah,
signals,
there's a
and
way
it's
of.
just like all this sci-fi stuff, like, and it's real, and but they don't want us to know it and gain
But
access
it's
to it
not
because they
the
feel
thing.
like
But what's crazy is it's on their website, so you can just go to their web. I don't know. I got to learn
they
how to
just
do
don't
that, you guys.
advertise it because they
They
have
don't.
to share it with it's the disclosures, like
Yeah,
they have to share it with the public, but they're not gonna like advertise it. So
right.
they try to kind of hide it from you.
They hide it
And
from
I
you.
feel like that's why on shows they do put stuff like that because they want you to almost believe that's out of
It's
reality.
never. Yeah, there's
You
no
could,
way that's happened.
yeah, like
This
so
is
it's
like just so
supernatural
crazy.
shows or things
But
like that.
when you
But
think,
like,
let me talk about. Let's just look at Star Wars. Okay, that came out in 1977, and it was filmed, I think, in 1974, 75 is when they were filming it. Okay, and I mean that show was revolutionary. I mean, you had guns with lasers that came out. There really are those. I mean, that, you there's anyway, there's all kinds of documentation. Like a lot of the technology that we see, I mean, think about, let's just talk about, did you ever see Total Recall? Where
Get
they
it?
had,
But I
that was,
know
oh
it.
my God, that was crazy too. They basically, you go into a place and you have like, I want to take a vacation. And so they're like, okay, what do you want to be for a week? I want to be a spy. So they sit you in a chair with goggles on, virtual reality
Oh, that's
goggles
what
on.
I haven't seen it, but yeah,
And
yeah, I
I
know
was
what you're
like,
talking
are you kidding me? And now look at all the virtual reality stuff. Look at all the, I
Oh,
mean,
those stuff are it's so real now. Like it's
it's
just too,
so
almost
insane.
that stuff's
So
too real.
listen, people in the you know what the elites are doing now in the metaverse? They're buying up property in the metaverse because
I
they think
know.
that we're going to be okay. Basically, they're trying to box us in to be just at home, glued in. So if I want to see a concert of Michael Jackson, I'll pay $100 on my digital currency and I'll log in and I'll be able to see him. I mean, come on, you might as well just have video on. I mean, it's so
I know that's
stupid.
what I know. It's kind of scary though. That's why people have to watch out for that kind of stuff because really you have to make sure you're still like going outside and
Yeah,
into the world because that's how you
right.
that's how depression comes on.
Yeah.
Really. That's what they want.
Exactly. It's crazy. So I mean, I think ultimately the idea is that we just got to start thinking on broader terms, not so
Yeah.
much in our little, this is all I have, this is all it is, and just
Yeah.
think bigger because it is bigger. I mean,
And we're so capable of like so much more than we think too
oh
because they want
yeah,
to box us into like a reality where we aren't as
we're not
capable
anything,
or we're
right?
victims or we can't do this like how we've talked about before, but really we have the capacity to
We're
do
very special people, and
unlimited.
there's
Yeah.
a reason that they've been suppressed. There's a reason they're putting fluoride in the water. There's a reason that they're doing
Hmm.
this. I mean, I say this to my mother, and she goes, "What? Why would they do that?" Well, I mean, you're trying to just be control
Yeah,
control humanity.
because it
It's
controls your
hard
thought
because
processes more, and
yeah,
then so they don't want you to think at a higher level,
critical
basically, is what it
thinking.
is, because and then they wouldn't be able to control you if you were thinking at a higher level.
Right,
And so
right.
you have to just really, like I said, watch what you consume in any way, shape, or form, and
Hmm.
just yeah, keep your eyes and ears open for sure.
And yeah, for sure. So I guess we'll end it there. We would really like it. I mean, I know there's trolls out there, but whatever. We don't care. Put some comments. We're good with
We
constructive
just have fun here.
criticism. We're still trying to, get our act together as far as like figuring out how the screens work and everything else.
I know
But we
we're
really,
technologically not good. I'm not at all.
I know. It's so funny. Well, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can put an icon on the thing. I was like playing with it today. So, but we really appreciate everybody that followed us, and we're gonna get into, if there's a subject that you want us to talk about, please let us
Yeah, for
know in the
sure.
comments.
Yeah, share your comments and please like our video and subscribe if
Yeah,
you do.
please, we
Thank
need.
you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank
We
you.
are out of here.
Bye.
Bye.